Lighthouses are designed to serve as beacons for navigational aid. The light they emit provides safe entry into harbors, most dangerous coastlines, and serves as a reference point for mariners as they make their way along the coast. No two lighthouses are built the same, and they distinguish themselves with a light signature, meaning they emit light flashes that distinctly plot a course for crews as they navigate their journey. As school districts around the world have learned to navigate the changing landscape brought on by a global pandemic, Lexington County School District 3 has distinguished itself with a personalized learning signature that distinctly plots the course for students and teachers throughout K4 through 12th grade. The district embarked on the personalized learning journey more than 4 years ago by participating in the South Carolina State Department of Education's launch cohort that includes teachers and administrators from all 4 Lexington 3 schools. It was during this professional learning experience that the district first encountered the team from KnowledgeWorks that has provided coaching and support to sustain the work of implementing a personalized learning system. Lexington 3 is a small rural school district located in Batesburg, Leesville, about 30 miles west of Columbia, South Carolina. The work in personalized learning began with exploration of flexible learning environments, including flexible seating, choice boards, and alternative assessments. However, school and district leaders quickly realized that in order to build a true personalized learning experience, teachers and administrators were going to have to embark beyond the safe harbor of environmental structures and really dig deeper into determining learning pathways that would support all students. In collaboration with KnowledgeWorks, the district began preparing to provide an intensive summer professional learning opportunity that would support teachers in the creation of learning progressions in English language arts and mathematics for grades kindergarten through 12. In the spring of 2020, though, as schools across the country were shut down unexpectedly due to COVID-19, Lexington 3 took advantage of the opportunity to start this work sooner than expected. Knowing that students would be returning in August 2020 with instructional losses due to the shutdown, teachers and administrators worked virtually to prioritize critical standards, discuss learning gaps across vertical content teams, and create a progressions document that would guide teachers as students returned to school in the fall. Sounds ideal, right? The work was challenging to say the least. While most of the grade level teams were able to draft progressions through at least the first quarter, the work became especially critical when students returned and many teachers realized that in order for the documents to have meaning for students and parents, the progression documents were going to need to take on a different format. So throughout the 2020-2021 school year, ELA and math teachers continued to revise and edit the learning progressions, adding to their collection of support documents that would become known as student data tracking forms that allowed students to monitor their own learning and truly progress at their own pace. At Batesburg Leesville Primary School, K4, K5 teachers Melanie Lorick and Brianna Metz know firsthand how important the data notebooks have become to students taking responsibility for their learning.
I think the data notebook has been a process for us. Last year, a lot of the things that we were adding were in the works, so we were slowly adding student ownership to it as it went along. In the past, it's kind of been we didn't have a set uniform, so we were all kind of doing our own thing and having the kids take ownership in that way. But I think now that we've gone through those little the trainings that we had with KnowledgeWorks, we both somehow went on the same journey to do goals and reflections. Yes. And I think that adding that in with the data notebook is going to help them have more ownership because we're able to meet with them, reflect with them, and have a time where we can talk.
Excitement for the data notebooks can be seen across Batesburg Leesville Primary School as students, teachers, and parents now have a common language for what students should know and be able to do at the end of each school year.
Having the data notebook where it's laid out, everybody's uniform, and they understand that when they stamp that bus means that they've mastered that goal and they're ready to move on, and that bus helps them understand, okay, I'm here, now I'm moving. It's kind of like a road, and it's like a road, I'm going on to the next stop.
Even more critical has been the vertical planning and systems thinking that has occurred across schools as teachers collaborate and learn from one another. Teacher leaders from the primary and elementary school recognized that the student-friendly progression documents needed to be articulated through the transition from primary to elementary school to ensure students would continue to demonstrate growth, especially as they begin required state testing in third grade.
going off of the data that we've seen over the past few years of areas that our kids really need growth, not just thinking about, for us, like a Lucy Calkins standpoint, but just seeing the areas that maybe they need to hit again. We picked those critical areas and implemented that within our progressions, like Erin said, and we've really just made sure that the language is very kid-friendly and that it progresses not just in our grade, but also in the grades above and below us.
Those conversations have been really vital for us, I think, just sharing strategies, either what did work or didn't work, and then knowing that I need to bring something new to the table. That way, those kids who weren't getting it before do get it now.
Shifting mindsets have been crucial to the scale and spread of a personalized learning experience across 4 schools, multiple subject areas, and a myriad of teacher, student, and administrator belief systems. Prioritizing the standards in collaborative, grade-level teams is a critical first step for getting all teachers of the same subject speaking the same language in the terms of what students must know. Once that heavy lifting has been done, teachers start to see their craft differently in terms of short-term planning, and the fun work of creating pathways that meet students where they are gets underway.
It's a lengthy process, but it's definitely a process that pays off in the end. It's the initial upfront work and getting pathways set up and progressions set up and pre-assessments set up and making sure that they all align with the progressions that we have set together, and just making it sure it all works together. We know what the kids need to learn, and it's okay to teach it a different way, but we still need similar activities and we still need similar the assessments, and so letting go of that has been a thing for me, and trying to work together to find a common ground on things, and just realizing we're not all going to teach it the same way, but they still are learning the same thing.
Even in the systems-focused build of personalized learning structures, Lexington 3 has seen each school environment distinguish itself with signature professional learning and teacher leadership that supports what students in that school need most. At Batesburg-Leesville High School, the building leadership team has created norms and expectations for using assessment to drive the learning progressions.
It's the best meeting I've ever been a part of. I literally got chill bumps as they were talking about things they wanted to accomplish instructionally this year. This is my 5th year as principal here, and I've typically worked with my administrative team to set our what we call our learning adventures for the year, and we usually do 2 goals. And this year, rather than us coming up with those, we put it to building leadership team, which is our department chairs plus anybody else who wants to make positive change in our school. It's open to the entire faculty. But we put it to them to make those goals for us this year instead of us deciding the goals. And interestingly, they came up with 2 personalized learning goals that I also wanted, so it worked out perfectly. We are working primarily right now on building pre-assessments that really target what a student knows rather than what they don't know. And our teachers have been very involved in developing those pre-assessments, and we're spreading that now to our entire school faculty. So it'll be a school-wide initiative that is being led by our department chairs and a few other teachers who are on our personalized learning teams. And they're training the teachers and they're reviewing the documents, and it really is a true organic, authentic way of building pre-assessments that are much more appropriate than the ones we've used in the past.
One of the other things that you were talking about with pre-assessments is skills. I think that was a big eye-opener for me when you said, I think we were talking about pre-assessments and you said it's skills-based, not content-based, and that's so hard for somebody like me that's a science teacher where it's all new content. Then how am I going to assess what they don't know when I could have them for skills-based? Do they know what an inference is? Do they know what compare and contrast means? And it could be something simple like a bottle versus a can, or, it doesn't have to be, it's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that it doesn't have to be content-based. But you're assessing skills, not content.
And to have examples on that pre-assessment that don't, like on our summatives, lots of times I feel like we try to get the biggest bang for our buck. We try to come up with a question problem that deals with all different kinds of skills. But on that pre-assessment, we don't need to combine vocabulary with operation, with writing equations, with this. because we need to be able to figure out what part of that
They can't do,
they
have
need help
trouble with or need
Yes.
help with, right?
Or can do, either way.
It's what they can do and what they can't do. And
So-
any misconceptions they have, that's the big part.
Lighthouses have long symbolized strength, withstanding adversity, and providing a way forward no matter the challenges. As Lexington 3 continues to navigate the instructional changes brought on by the ongoing global pandemic, we hope to utilize our designation as a Lighthouse district for personalized learning to grow our students, teachers, and administrators with learning structures that adapt and allow our district to support every student in achieving the knowledge, skills, and characteristics of the profile of the South Carolina graduate.
Just know it's going to be messy at first, and that's perfectly fine. That's how it's supposed to be. It's going to be uncomfortable, and just remember, when things are uncomfortable, that's when you do your most learning, because that's when it becomes very memorable to you.